If you're a noob at this and you're not real comfortable with doing like big modifications and stuff like that and working out complex problems, this may not be the kit for you, but I encourage you to watch and learn. So welcome to the CavFab HD 7075 crossover steering. It is not what you think, and it is not a straightforward installation unless you've already got a whole pile of aftermarket stuff on there to begin with. So let's dig in. And hey, if any of you know Jerry B from the Jeep Wrangler forum, man, I would be happy to send him this crap free of charge. A good buddy of mine runs CavFab crossover on his his LJ, and I thought, well, I'm going to one-up him here. I'm going to, do the 7076 aluminum. His was a direct bolt-in. Mine was not. Mine has turned into a incomplete kit, order parts, and let's try to make it work kind of a thing. First thing I ran into. Now, a lot of this hardware didn't come with this kit. I tried to space it and see if maybe I could get it to work temporarily while I ordered some stuff and waited. Well, I never even got it hooked up. I wound up ordering and waiting. We got some stuff from Rusty's Off-Road. We got some offset Heim joints that we're going to be replacing these Heims that came with the kit and hopefully get enough clearance to get all of our steering back, because we found out that this kit, if you've got 40-inch tires on here and you're only spaced out so far and you're already rubbing your frame with your tires, you're not going to make contact with your tie rod. But on this, the tie rod is actually making contact with the diff cover and making contact down here. Now, the other problem I have with this as you can see, our stop bolt, which is right here. That's your adjustable stop that tells you how far you can steer. Now, when we're making contact, try to get this to where you can see, we are not making contact with our stop bolt. And what that translates into for us is a significantly reduced steering radius. And here in the Black Hills, we need all of our turning radius. We've got turns that are very tight, and most of these trails out here were cut back in the CJ days. And a lot of them were even cut with old MBs that came back from World War II. So we're going to unbolt all of this, and we're going to put these offset Heim joints in. Now also, here's another issue. It's a minor issue, but it's an issue. I ordered 3/4 inch Heim joints from Rusty's Off-Road with a 5/8 bolt hole. Instead, I got 3/4, 3/4 with a 3/4 to 5/8 press in bushing. Not exactly what I ordered, enough for me to send it back and say, nah, give me what I ordered. No, I'm going to make this work, because this thing's been down for a week now at this point. We're fully mocked up in the lower position. Now, ideally, if you can move your sway bar brackets and relocate them up higher and go on top, you're obviously going to have your steering more out of the rocks. But in stock trim, this is not going to happen. I tried it, and if we flip from here to here, then we make contact here. So either way, this sway bar mount has got to be relocated, and I've got a plan for that. That one will live right where it is, and everything clears. But up here, we got our drag link, and I'll show you what we're going to get into there. So we've got all our clearance problems worked out on the tie rod, but we still have clearance issues on the drag link. Now, I tried putting the tie rod in the uppermost position, and it absolutely did not work without relocating both sway bar brackets. Now, eventually, this thing is going to get stretched, and at that point, none of this is going to matter, because we are going to go ahead and go with the WJ knuckle conversion, bigger brakes. We're going to flip this to the top of the knuckle. And also same thing with the top. We're going to take the tie or the drag link. Now that I've regained my composure a little bit, I'm going to try to tell you about this again. Man, I just got attacked by bees. Sitting here minding my own business, working on this steering, and man, I got one on my elbow. I got one, I'm not going to show you, in my armpit, 2 of them down my back. Man, these things just swarmed me, and I mean, I swear to God, I'd think these were killer bees from Texas, but I didn't think they'd made it as far as South Dakota. That's a little cold for them. And so we just removed that bracket. And what we're looking at doing is we are looking at repositioning it in such a manner that it is here, and we'll take our heim joint for our sway bar link and we'll turn one of them 90 degrees. And we should have enough that with one high misalignment spacer and the rotation of the other one, we should be able to make this work. Wish me luck. And this is what we had to do for our sway bar link. We cut it, we moved it back to the top of the bracket for the stabilizer mount, and we welded it. Okay, we're half the thickness on steel, but there's 2 layers supported by an arch. So I think we're going to be okay. And besides, this is only temporary. finally, several days later, and I've got all the parts and completed the CavFab. What is this? This is the HD 7075 aluminum standard crossover steering kit for Jeep XJ, MJ, ZJ, TJ, and LJ. So it fits a number of different vehicles, sort of. This is a very basic kit. With this kit, what you get is 2 machined pieces of 7076 aluminum with heim joints that may not actually work for your application. If you're running stock, this absolutely will not work for your application because you're going to have to cut and modify your sway bar bracket in order to clear. With the sway bar bracket in place, no matter what your lift level, this drag link is not going to clear. So you're going to have to cut, fabricate, and move it. Okay, this is not a beginner-friendly kit. This is for somebody who's experienced in making modifications. The things we added to this kit: we went through Rusty's Off-Road and we got offset heims for the tie rod. For the drag link, we had to remove the jam nuts, run this all the way in, absolutely as far as it would go to get the steering to clock correctly, and then drill and cotter pin one end. If you do that, you only need to drill and cotter pin one end because all it has to do is keep it from rotating so that it doesn't back out and your steering wheel start clocking at different angles while you're driving. Without the jam nuts, that's going to be a necessary step. It did not come with any kind of an attachment point for a steering stabilizer. This we also sourced from Rusty's Off-Road. They came through in flying colors. We tried to order one that was a little bit different design elsewhere. Went back order. So we ordered it, we got it in, we completed the kit. We did just a basic tape measure alignment. You guys have seen that in another video that I did on crossover steering. Got this thing perfect. It drives like a sports car. I can't wait to take it off-road, but that's going to have to wait for another day because we did the alignment, we got the steering stabilizer on, we took it for a shakedown run just to make sure that everything was tight and right. We drove it from our house to Steel Wheel Campground, turned around. Rhea drove it from there to Sturgis to the Burger King, and leaving the Burger King parking lot, we pulled out onto the street and we started getting a growling noise. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it under here, but there's a drain pan. We have metal in our transmission oil. It appears that we have got an input shaft that has had a bearing started to go down after 5 years of hard use on the trail. And so the transmission is going to have to come out, and we're either going to have to rebuild or we're going to have to get a reman. And so showing this thing in performance off-road is just going to have to wait for another video. Let me know in the comments how you guys want us to go. Do you want me to try to overhaul this transmission, or do you want me to just get a reman and get it back on the trail? Let me know what you think. And just remember, Jeep, just empty every pocket.